guys, welcome to Southern Trace Camping, where today I'm coming to you from CapRock Canyon, which is located about 2 hours south of Amarillo, Texas. Now, this is a fantastic park, and I know the number one thing you want to know is what are some of the best camping sites, and I'll get to that later on. We'll cover that in the map. But there's a few things about the park I wanted to share with you. For one, you have spectacular views like the one right here behind me. And this park has a ton of trails to hit. And I advise hitting as many as you can, especially the ones that have the lookout symbol, because you get scenes like this that are behind me. Now, this park has buffalo, over 120 of them that roam through the park. They'll even come through your campsites at times. They have a ton of prairie dogs that the kids love to watch that are right there by the campgrounds. Now, the campgrounds are at the front of the park, so you don't have to worry about getting in and out of the park with steep grades or anything. The only bad thing about that is, from your campsites, you don't really have any good views of the canyons. You have to kind of walk across the road from where the campsites are to get a view similar to what you see behind me, okay? There is actually fair AT&T cell service inside the park. The park has good water pressure. The sites are spacious behind them, but when you're actually backing into your spots, you need to be careful because the posts are kind of close together. If you have a lot of slide outs that are large, you really need to be careful where you put your travel trailer in that spot. My main thing was the power box was a little bit too close. It's closer than some of the poles at some of the sites. But I'll go over the best sites here in just a few minutes. Now, we have seen all kinds of buffalo, and if you're coming to this park, be sure to bring your binoculars and spotting scopes and, man, some really good cameras, and make sure your phone has tons of memory for photos, because you are going to take a bunch of them. There is a point in the park in which you can't take a trailer larger than 15 foot, but that's in the back of the park where there's only just primitive camping. So you need to know that. But you're going to be leaving, if you have a travel trailer, you'll leave that at the front of the campsite. I'm trying to think of what else you might need to know about this park. Bring tons of water. We're here in March, and we are still going through water left and right. I mean, you just can't beat this kind of view. It's very similar to Palo Duro in some ways. I mean, you're more on top of the canyon, where at Palo Duro you're down in the canyon. But anyway, there's probably some more stuff I'll think of that I want to add. But as for right now, this is the stuff that's on my mind that I thought that you might need to know. And now we're going to jump over to the map, and let me show you the best campsites and why I think they're the best campsites. Okay guys, so here's the map of CapRock Canyons, and I'm going to zoom in here real quick. And the first thing I want to tell you is that if you are on the inside loop, you want to take the second entrance, so that way you can pull in and back into your spots. If you're on the outside loop, you want to take this first entrance, that way you can pull in and back into your spots. That's need to know information, because a lot of people were pulling in there and having to go back out on the main road and back up and then come back in. Now, sites 1 through 25 are 30 amp only. 26 through 35 are 30 amp and 50 amp. Now, I will tell you, if you can, get on this outside loop, hands down, because you have a lot more real estate to work with. There's more space behind your trailer, on the entrance side of your trailer, and the sites are more spaced out. The inside loop isn't, I mean, you're just more packed together. I mean, it still gets the job done. The sites are fairly level. You shouldn't have any problems, but the outside loop is definitely better. Now, you see right here, there's this trail, and I'm going to advise, you'll see a lot of people riding their bikes on it. I would not take your bike on that. We had 3 families and went through 9 inner tubes and 2 cans of Fix-A-Flat. There are some grass burrs that are unrelentless back there. You can actually walk about a half mile back here and see some really cool canyon views. It's a smaller canyon. You can go out, cut through this trail, and cut across the main road, and there is a big canyon view just right here outside of your camping area. Now, a little bit further back, you have your horse camping area. And about right here is a sign that says no trailers longer than, it was either 15 or 20 foot can go beyond this point. Now, this loop right here is just for pop-up trailers, and this is all basically backpacking and camping, tent camping type spots. So anyway, that is the basic information that you might need to know for getting into a good camping spot at CapRock Canyons. So this is one additional map of CapRock Canyons that has to do with rails to trails. Now when you look up CapRock Canyon, you always see this cave and a man standing in front of it walking towards it. That is the Bat Cave, and it is not inside the park. Okay, as you can see, this is the park, and the main tunnel is right here. So you will need to ask them for this map at the headquarters. And the map, that they don't actually show up until April through October, the bats that is. So you can still go check it out. You're going to have to do some hiking, or depending on which entry point, which are the different stars that you go to, you can ride your bicycle. I think the shortest one is about 4.5 miles away, so you'll have to do a bike ride or plan on hiking to see the bats. But anyway, I thought this might be something that you would need to know. Hey, I wanted to point something out on this map real quick. We parked right here and took this little half-mile hike to right here and cut up to this lookout point. Now, to about right there was very easy. All of this was very easy. But you can see by these topography lines that it gets really steep right in there. And it zigzags back and forth across the ridge, so it's not too bad, but just take your time, know that it is steep. We also parked, this is a good lookout spot right here where you can actually park, and took this trail, the South Prong Trail, and it was really easy till about right in here. And then it starts, you can see the topography lines getting real close together, meaning that's very steep. And this was, if you're not sure-footed, I would not attempt these trails. They're good and flat up until about in here, and on this one about the same. Right in here is where it starts getting steep. We took and went all the way up here to the Fern Cave, which I'll show you a little clip in the slideshow of what it looks like climbing up part of this section here. But then we doubled back and went across this ridge, which was a really nice walk also. But my main goal was just to point out to watch for topography lines on your maps that will show you how steep some of this stuff can get and how fast it can do it. Anyway, I thought that might be something that would help you. Hey, I did remember one more thing. They do have a sandwich shop inside the park. They do have a lake at the park. There is only one little store, and it's right there at the main office where you check in to get your campsites. And the campsites do have Wi-Fi, just so you know. Thought that might help also.